Follow us on Twitter at ghettoplex_mp4, on Instagram at ghettoplex.np4, or on YouTube at Ghettoplex. Slingshot is a movie I only just heard of probably 2 weeks ago. The trailer definitely caught my attention. I was looking forward to watching the film. And boy, did it not disappoint. Before I get to the spoilers, let me give you guys a short description of the film without spoiling it. Basically, Casey Affleck plays this character, John, who is selected for a special mission to take this space vessel to one of Saturn's moons, Titan. I don't remember what their mission is exactly when they get to Titan. I don't know if they go over that because that didn't seem clear to me what their goal was when they get to Titan. The film basically takes you on the journey of them going to Titan. Everyone is assigned their individual duties on the ship. The three characters, John, Nash, and Captain Franks. Captain Franks played by Laurence Fishburne, who is permanently in my mind every time he speaks. He's Morpheus. Anytime I see Laurence Fishburne in a movie, he's only Morpheus to me. He's just Morpheus existing in a different matrix. That's the power of that character. So problems arise as they're on their journey to Titan, mainly that being of their hibernation chambers, inducing them with hallucinations, which they struggle to overcome. The hibernation drugs causes exhaustion and confusion and creates a conflict between the characters who are supposed to be working together as a team to make it to Titan. And it's unclear who actually survives. This is one of those films where it's kind of like Tyler Durden in space. It's Fight Club in space. That's the only way I could describe this film. It's like the narrator and Tyler Durden ended up on a spaceship. So that's my non-spoiler part of the review. I'm going to get into spoilers. So if you want to come back and listen to the rest of this, then come back after you've watched the film. Casey Affleck's character, John, has many flashbacks to his girlfriend, Zoe, who is also part of this mission in a way that gets a lot more twisted later on. After each hibernation period, you get flashbacks of his relationship with Zoe, and you get an understanding of what's important to each character. Not just John and Zoe, but also Captain Franks and Nash. Nash is the first person to really suffer from the drugs that put them in their hibernation chambers. So he really starts to lose grip on reality. Followed by John, who, because of his dedication to this mission, but also his feelings for Zoe, which is something he struggles with, even though he's not vocal about them. It's very obvious that Zoe is deeply in love with him, but John has taken this mission as priority. It's his life's ambition. But he still loves Zoe, even though he refuses to say it, to vocalize it. And Captain Franks, Morpheus, I'm just going to call him Captain Morpheus, is a strong force of ambition. He is not going to let anything put this mission at risk. He's a guy who's going to make sure that it gets done. And by force, he turns into a total gangster. Now, the movie is called Slingshot because the crucial turning point is when they use Jupiter's gravitational orbit to slingshot towards Titan to gain momentum, to gain more speed. But before they slingshot, there's some doubts about the structural integrity of their space vessel, which creates even more conflict between the three characters. Nash, who just wants to go home, he constantly tries to figure out ways to sabotage the mission, which forces Captain Morpheus to really put the smackdown on him in a way that becomes brutal, barbaric, an absolute monster of a man. And John is forced to pick a side that it's kind of his own side, to be honest. He kind of chooses Captain Franks or Captain Morpheus. He kind of chooses to side with Captain Morpheus, but only to keep himself alive. Captain Morpheus, he's like the big brother on the ship. He sees everything. Nothing gets past him, and he rules with an iron fist. He's absolutely menacing. But yeah, you can also see that the hibernation also affects the captain. He may be the most in control, but he also becomes the most out of control. The most in control, out of control captain that there could be. And it's terrifying, especially as the tension builds between John and Captain Morpheus. It's almost like that saying from the Joker, that when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, they just become this conflict between these two characters that it keeps you guessing, like, what's going to happen? How is this conflict going to come to an end? And the real twist comes in when Captain Morpheus tells John that his relationship with Zoe was fake the whole time. She was basically there testing him to see if he was committed to the mission, because he knows things about the relationship that John didn't tell anybody. We as the audience see these things, but there's no evidence as to Captain Franks or Captain Morpheus. Why does he know this information about their relationship? So it really does throw a twist into John's, not desire, but into John's feelings about his relationship. He then doubts it. Is it real? And then the physical conflict eventually that happens between John and Captain Morpheus, as they basically kind of almost fight to death, where we then learn that John is actually the only person on board. He's the only person on the ship. So he's kind of been fighting himself, almost like a flashback in Fight Club, when the narrator, when he has flashbacks of every time he's with Tyler Durden and he's actually just sitting there by himself, or he's speaking as Tyler Durden. That's kind of what this movie does. It has this twist of John actually being the only person on the ship the whole time. And it's absolutely nuts, because you still just don't know if he actually is on the ship by himself or if he really is on board with this crew. And the ending, I won't spoil the ending. I know this is spoiler talk, but I kind of want to leave, I don't want to spoil the ending, because it's almost like Inception, where it's like, was he awake or was he still in a dream? It's like this, where it's like it ends with it being, was he in this ship or was it all just a simulation test for him to actually go to launch and go to Titan? It ends so bizarre. All in all I have to say is that Slingshot is a movie I didn't know I was going to enjoy as much as I did. But that's it for this review. Follow us on Twitter at @GhettoPlex_MP4, on Instagram at GhettoPlex.NP4, or on YouTube at GhettoPlex.